3 weeks on the job as the head of the largest public school system in the country. And Chancellor Kamar is on a mission to visit all of the school districts across the city within his first 2 months in office. He's joining us today to let us know how far he's gotten and what he's hoping to accomplish.
Yeah, Chancellor Sammer, it was great to see you. Thanks for making the time for us this morning. I know you're very busy with all those visits. So let's talk about the visits. I mean, this is a big task, right, to kind of visit every district. What have you seen so far? What's working, what's not working, and what do you want to tackle?
Yeah, so kids are safe in the schools that I've been in. We've had a really good conversations with parents and teachers. And as I go to classrooms, I see New York City Reads being implemented really, really well, the reading curriculum, as well as foundational literacy skills that students are really taking part of. Also, we have our student pathways at the high school level that so many of our teachers and students are getting early access to college credits. So those things are working pretty well.
Yeah, you have a lot of things to tackle as you take on this new job. But some of the things that are top of mind right now is what we're seeing on the streets all across the country. We're seeing ICE agents on the streets grabbing family members and on and on and on. So you are an immigrant from Jamaica, came here as a teenager. When you see what's going on, a lot of parents wondering and they're concerned. How are you going to protect students?
Yeah. So we have a host of trainings for our principals. ICE agents cannot come into our schools. We have safer access doors where they have to buzz to be let in, and we require that they have a judicial warrant that's signed by a judge. And so our principals are very clear, and our staff is very clear that our schools are going to be safe havens for our kids. We do not ask immigration status of our kids, and so for me as an immigrant, absolutely, it's personal, and I really want to position myself to make sure that all families know that the city is safe for our kids and that they have a shot to, if they come, work hard to really attain whatever their dreams are.
It's never been an issue so far, right, that ICE actually has gone. The issue is with kids who are on their way to school, walking to school.
Yeah, and I think, you know, we've seen responses around the city in terms of raising awareness, making sure that families know their rights. We actually distribute materials in various languages to make sure that families know their rights when they're interacting with ICE agents.
Chancellor, I want to ask you about something. New York City schools can be sometimes described as the most segregated, right? And you wrote a letter to staff. You said, quote, "I believe that every student starting in early childhood and continuing through graduation deserves a school that is academically rigorous, safe, and truly integrated." So what does integration look like for you? Are you saying that the gifted and talented programs should be a thing of the past and eliminate them altogether?
No, we're not saying that. For example, next year, the program is going to stay the same. In the future, we want to have a conversation about, right now, there's no testing in the program. It's a lottery. Essentially, you indicate whether you think your child is ready for an accelerated program or not. We want to have a collective conversation with the schools, for example, that are gifted and talented schools, to see if there's a mechanism that we can bring in to possibly do testing, but later in third grade. I think that's really what the research shows, that you really can get a sense of who is ready for some accelerated programs. But by and large, what we want is to make sure that our students who are ready for accelerated programs have access to them. And I think that's not going to change.
But some of the issues involving like G&T programs are the reasons why people are leaving the school district. Now, when you were a superintendent in District 13 in Brooklyn, District 3 in Manhattan, you decided to merge a lot of schools. If the enrollment continues to decline in some of these areas, will you plan to merge even more schools in the school district?
So we have to be clear. Families are leaving the city for various reasons. Our enrollment is declining for various reasons, including birth rates. Our birth rates are declining. So families are leaving the city because of affordability concerns and so on. And so that will be a part of our strategy when we look at right-sizing our schools. If our schools are not robustly enrolled, they're not going to be well-funded. And we want to make sure that our schools have access to the appropriate programming. And when we do that, we want to do that with a lens of integration to say, can we create a more diverse school if we merge these schools or not?
So a possibility for sure, right?
Sure.
Taking a look at numbers.
Absolutely. I think that's going to be part of the strategy, but not the only one.
I want to talk about mayoral control of the schools. Mayor Mamdani campaigned to end mayoral control and then had a bit of a shift during your announcement where he said he would like to take a look at it, implement it in maybe a different kind of way. So what do you kind of see as mayoral control when some parents are for it, some parents are against it? Where do you stand?
Yeah, I think we want to make sure that parents have a really robust engagement and a more democratic process as they engage in their child's school.
Yeah.
We need to make sure that we have systems where we're listening to parents, not just making sure that we hear what they say, but they're a part of the decision-making process.
But what does it look like? Because I think the concern was if you get rid of mayoral control, what takes its place?
Well, that is a huge concern. The reason we certainly want to keep mayoral control is that if you want to do big things across the city, it's very difficult for each district to do its own thing. So what we want to make sure is that when we are talking to CECs around the city, that they have a part of the decision-making process. We have some ideas on that, and we'll be talking about that in the upcoming months.
And how do you plan on getting parents more engaged?
Yeah, so we're looking at our parent coordinators, which is each person in a school that we're building their capacity. We're going to make sure that they are aware of all of the things that need to happen in schools, that they make sure that parents are at meetings and they know when the meetings are. We want to make sure the meetings are more accessible to parents, virtually and in person. And so there's a host of things that we're thinking about in terms of working with our schools and specifically our parent coordinators and at the district level.
Okay, Chancellor, this might be the most important question of this interview. We're supposed to get a lot of snow on a Sunday, heading into a Monday. Snow days used to be a thing of the past. Will you bring snow days back?
Yeah, I have
an built in.
I have an 11th grader at home, and this is his biggest question as well. I will say, I'm committed to well, first of all, it's early. Let's see where we go. It's going to be very difficult to not have students engage in some kind of virtual opportunity, and it's very hard to decide to close schools.
This is such a political answer. Yeah. Snow days, yes or no?
I would say, I would say that we're doing virtual. We're going to be doing virtual learning either way.
I think a lot of people are going to be talking to a specific 11th grader to push for that initiative.
Exactly.
Chancellor, so great to meet you. Thank you so much, and good luck as you take on this new role.